Hi, John. You'll probably never see this video because I'm responding to a video that's like 4 or 5 videos old at this point. But hi, I'm Andy. I'll give you a brief introduction to who I am. My name is Andy. I currently live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but my heart and my birthplace is Buffalo, New York. I am a youth and children's pastor outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I got married less than a month ago. So, newly married guy. Crazy stuff. Anyways, I'm responding to your video in which you asked, why in the world would anybody want to be famous knowing what fame does to people, that it causes, personality disorders and craziness and people just completely losing themselves in the quest to be more famous. And I was laying in bed last night trying to sleep, and I literally was kept awake by this question. The best I can do for an answer is just tell you that when I was a little kid, I wanted to be famous. Like, that was like the driving motivation in my life from like early consciousness, 6 or 7 years old, until I was like 12 or 13. I just wanted to be famous. At which point I decided that I wanted to fade into the woodwork and have no one ever notice me ever. But that's high school for you. Anyways, I kept bouncing back and forth between different ways I could get famous, whether it was I wanted to be a famous chef, and then I wanted to be a famous psychiatrist, then I wanted to be a famous airline pilot, then I wanted to be a famous author, which I'm still hoping to do at some point in my life. Fingers crossed. But I always had a different plan about how I wanted to be famous, and then I realized I wasn't really tremendously skilled at any one thing, so I never really believed I could be famous. So I gave up on being famous and just decided to pursue what I love, which is teaching the Word of God to other people. So I was watching something about a year ago that recently came to mind. It was an interview, one of those hour-long interviews. It's on YouTube somewhere. If I can find the link, I'll throw it in the sidebar. I think I'm pointing the right direction. I don't know. Over here. Charlie Rose did like a 1-hour interview with Conan O'Brien. He talked about the youth of America. And he said that more and more as time goes on, he'll meet young people and he'll say to them, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they'll say, I want to be famous. And he'll say to them, oh, do you want to be a famous author? Do you want to be a famous movie star? Do you want to be a famous musician? A sports star? What do you want to be famous for? And they'll respond, I don't know. I just want to be famous. And he referred to it, and I think this is brilliant, he referred to it as the Paris Hilton phenomenon of the desire to be famous without really having any reason for this fame. Which sounds a lot like the reality TV stars of the Goslings or Balloon Boy and his family, and just this new crop of people that we're, as a culture, I guess, supposed to care about. So the only reason I could come up with laying awake in bed last night as to why people would want to be famous is because they want to matter. As a kid, I remember thinking, like, one of the moments I knew I'd be famous, excuse me, when I could go on, like, Jay Leno and sit and talk to Jay Leno and tell him about the most mundane, crappy story of my life, of, like, buying a shirt and having people be profoundly interested in this experience. Because that's what happens with these movie stars. We like the characters they play, and they might be interesting individuals, but they go on these talk shows, they talk about stuff that we all do, stuff that's not remotely interesting. And we eat it up like, oh, wow, okay, this is really great. And we'll spend our time thinking about that kind of stuff. So I'm a little bit of a nerd, and being a nerd, I play video games. Not a lot. I'm not a hardcore gamer, but I am a faithful of a series called Metal Gear Solid. And at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, there's this big debate about what we pass on to the next generation. And one character was saying that we are biologically wired to want to pass on our own genes, that it's hardwired into our system that we need to pass ourselves genetically onto the next generation, and that's all we have to offer the world. And then there's this beautiful monologue by the main character at the end of the game who asserts that no, we have so much more to pass on to the next generation than just our genes. We have literature and film and general culture. Like, we can create. We are one of the few beings sentient enough to create something worthwhile, something that can last from one generation to multiple other ones. I mean, that's why William Shakespeare has lasted as long as he has, because his works are intelligent, and they're beautiful creations, and they're good. So that's what I've been thinking about. Basically it came down to, we all want to matter. We all want people to look at our lives and say they're really important. We want to be someone of significance because we don't want our lives to be meaningless. We don't want them to be just these completely random blips throughout the timeline of human history that have no impact on the rest of the world. We want to matter. And unfortunately, I think that we might take the easy way out by choosing reality TV stardom as a platform to matter to other people. Yeah, thank you so much for indulging me. If you watch this, if not, hopefully somebody else got something out of it. So take care.